Immanuel Kant, the architect of modern philosophy. Kant is one of the most influential thinkers in the history of philosophy. His revolutionary ideas on morality, knowledge, and the nature of reality reshaped the intellectual landscape of the 18th century. Kant's philosophy continues to be a cornerstone in discussions of ethics, metaphysics, and epistemology. But who is the man behind these groundbreaking ideas? Let's dive into his fascinating story. Early life. Humble beginnings in Königsberg. Immanuel Kant was born on April 22, 1724, in Königsberg, Prussia, which is now Kaliningrad, Russia. He was the fourth of 9 children in a modest, devoutly religious family. His father was a harness maker, and his mother, while uneducated, was deeply pious and encouraged Immanuel's moral development. Kant grew up in a household shaped by Pietism, a Protestant movement that emphasized personal faith and moral integrity. This religious influence would later play a significant role in shaping his ethical theories. As a child, Kant was a curious and disciplined learner. He attended the Collegium Fridericianum, a rigorous Lutheran school, where he excelled in Latin, theology, and classical studies. Despite his academic aptitude, Kant experienced hardship when his father's modest income couldn't fully support his education. A lesser-known fact about Kant is that he was particularly fond of geography as a child. He loved maps and exploring the world through books, even though he never traveled far from his hometown. Adulthood, a life devoted to reason. Kant entered the University of Königsberg at the age of 16, where he initially studied theology. However, his interests quickly shifted to mathematics, science, and philosophy. In his early career, Kant worked as a private tutor while developing his philosophical ideas. It wasn't until 1755, at the age of 31, that he became a lecturer at the university. Kant's adult life was defined by routine and discipline. Famously, he followed such a strict daily schedule that the townspeople of Königsberg were said to set their clocks by his afternoon walks. Despite his seemingly ordinary lifestyle, Kant's mind was anything but ordinary. In 1781, Kant published Critique of Pure Reason, his magnum opus. In this groundbreaking work, he introduced the concept of transcendental idealism, which argued that our understanding of reality is shaped by the structures of our mind. This idea bridged the gap between rationalist and empiricist philosophies and created a new framework for understanding knowledge. Kant didn't stop there. His later works, such as Critique of Practical Reason and Critique of Judgment, explored ethics, aesthetics, and the role of human freedom. He introduced the idea of the categorical imperative, a principle that insists moral actions must be universally applicable. Despite his intellectual achievements, Kant never married or traveled far from Königsberg. His life was entirely dedicated to teaching, writing, and advancing human understanding. Kant's legacy, a giant of thought. Immanuel Kant's contributions to philosophy are monumental. He reshaped the way we think about knowledge, morality, and existence. His work laid the foundation for later philosophers such as Hegel, Schopenhauer, and Nietzsche. Kant's moral philosophy remains a cornerstone in ethical debates, influencing everything from human rights to political theory. His insistence on reason and the autonomy of the individual has had a lasting impact on Western thought. Kant's ideas continue to inspire scholars, scientists, and anyone seeking to understand the complexities of human existence. 10 questions everyone asks about Immanuel Kant. Who is Immanuel Kant? Immanuel Kant was an 18th century German philosopher known as one of the central figures of modern philosophy. What is Kant's most famous work? His most famous work is Critique of Pure Reason, where he explores how we understand knowledge and reality. What is the categorical imperative? The categorical imperative is Kant's ethical principle that states we should act only according to maxims that can be universally applied. Where was Kant born? Kant was born in Königsberg, Prussia, now Kaliningrad, Russia, on April 22, 1724. What did Kant contribute to philosophy? Kant introduced transcendental idealism, revolutionized epistemology, and developed a moral philosophy based on reason and duty. Why is Kant important? Kant is important because his ideas bridge the gap between rationalism and empiricism and laid the groundwork for modern philosophy and ethics. What is transcendental idealism? Transcendental idealism is Kant's theory that our perception of reality is shaped by the mind's inherent structures, such as space and time. Did Kant have a family or children? No, Kant never married and had no children. He devoted his life entirely to his intellectual pursuits. What influenced Kant's philosophy? Kant was influenced by thinkers like David Hume, who challenged the limits of human knowledge and the pietist values of his upbringing. Ovdit Gandhi. Kant died on February 12, 1804, in Königsberg, Prussia, at the age of 79. His final words were reportedly, "Yes, ist Gott." Immanuel Kant's life was a testament to the power of reason and intellectual discipline. Through his ideas, he taught us that understanding the world begins with understanding ourselves. Even today, his philosophy challenges us to think critically and act morally in an ever-changing world.